This is Iris, my personal health AI. Let's access together and ask a question. So there's a live demo for you guys. So I'm going to ask why I am taking boron as a new supplement. Supplement. So it's thinking. Hopefully it comes up with an answer. Um, All right, so look at this. It's pretty cool, right? So Iris, cross-referenced all my data, my genetics data, my supplement stack, and why we started this. So boron. So to lower my SHBG to unlock free testosterone. So all my blood tests showed my SHBG is on the higher end. Even though my testosterone is high, this metric is higher. So what happens is when you have that higher, even though you have a higher testosterone, a mine is like around 600, 550 plus, average. And, the free testosterone, sometimes it's, you need to have free testosterone as well. So if you have a little bit, so you have a little bit not an efficient free testosterone system in your body. So the AI said, take boron. So I started 10 milligrams daily, started February 18 to solve a specific genetic problem. This is cool, guys. Look at this. So I fed my genetics data, right? So I have two genes that work yin yang, right? So one lowers, the other one raises. Unfortunately, the one that raises this particular variant, RS727428CC, that dominates. So even though I have the good one that's supposed to lower my SHBG to increase my free testosterone levels, but I also have the other side of the hand, which raises the SHBG levels. So anyway, so that's a dominant one. Result was it was 54 nanomolars per liter. Target is 35 to 45. That's too high. Binding up your testosterone, reducing free T availability. So what boron does? Boron inhibits glycosylation of SHBC, reducing its production in the liver. Studies show 10 milligrams a day can drop SHBG by 10 to 20% over 4 to 8 weeks. Okay, so your target drop from 54, that's my blood test, and to this range of 35 to 45. Got it? And yeah, so which frees up more of your, so look at my T level, 553 to 634. Again, I'm natural. That's my total testosterone. I don't take any, testosterone therapy or anything. So anyway, so and then as bioavailable free T, I'm at 90.78 um, pg per ml. So started February 18, day 39, response window. So your Saturday blood test. So I mean, it's thinking that I'm going to take a blood test. So anyways, so isn't this pretty cool, guys? So all I'm asking is, okay, why am I taking boron as a new supplement? And it gave me everything. So that's the power of AI and the tool Iris I built. If you missed part one, quick context, I'm Shankar. I'm an engineer, dad, biohacker. I've been tracking my, you know, uh, biomarkers for almost 15, 16 years. I'm just obsessed with it. Every time I take a blood test, yearly once or twice, sometimes I track it. I religiously track my diet. I'm from South Asian family, so which has a slew of its shortcomings, diabetes, heart disease. It all runs deep in my family. And like I said in the part one video, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. I want to live until 99, right? I have two kids. I want to be there for them, you know, until I can. So 99 is my target. Hopefully, I can get there. So with that said, the problem we have today, right? So we got data everywhere. You got your blood data, you got your tracker data, nutrition data. There's a lot of places, a lot of apps. and they don't talk to each other, right? So you got your and some of them won't even have API access. I would say 95% of them don't even provide any access to your data except through their app. So you look at their app, either you do a weekly trend, monthly trend, whatever. So the missing piece for me is, okay, how do I connect it all? Like I showed you a demo, right now. This is live. It's so beautiful, right? Even my doctor won't even know how to how to explain this. If I go ask my doctor, dude, I'm taking boron, what do you think? He'll be like, yeah, whatever. But it has my full genetics data, right? It's parsed in, and it's cross-referencing it. It tells me the two variants that acting against each other, and why I need boron, even though my total testosterone is amazing for my age. I'm 46, and why I can still optimize my free testosterone is recommended boron. I've been taking since February. So I have a next actually my SHBG. I just got my results back from Rhythm, which I will go over in another one of the videos of all the blood tests I take. Um, so that way you guys kind of lean on which test to take and such. But anyway, so look, if you look at this, right, no doctor today can tell me, explain to me like this, hey, this is why it's happening, take this, and let's wait and see. So, okay, in this video, I'm going to show you under the hood, the architecture, the code, how I built this, how I connected everything. So that way it inspires you guys to, if you have data like me, tons of data everywhere in spreadsheets or whatever, now you have a way to connect all those together and make sense of it. So anyways, so again, this is Iris and it's beautiful. And I will go over a lot of details of this in hopefully in part 3 of this video. But today for the part 2, I want to focus mostly on architecture, and I want to show you guys how simple it is that you can even build an Iris, your version of Iris for yourself for very, very cheap. So let me show you. So I used Visual Studio. So this is VS Code. If you don't know, um, it's Visual Studio. It's free. You can download it. And I built a project. It's called my Garmin project. And this is all the code. Okay, it's primarily written in Python. I'll go in all the detail. And here's your. So I predominantly use Claude. Claude is my main, and I kind of cross-reference Gemini sometimes, just to kind of validate. So the rule of thumb is you need to. The more I do this, right, the more I listen to a lot of these people who kind of play with AI, vibe coding or whatever. You gotta have two AI models, three, but two is better. Three is overkill, I think, in my opinion. But pretty much all the AIs, either it's Claude, Gemini, Codex, or Open Chat GPT, Open AI, they all, you know, similar, right? Very close to the stuff we are trying to do, right? We're not doing some crazy stuff, like basic programming, connecting data, all this. They're very close. So if this Claude, okay, if I ask something in Claude, it gives you some idea. You go verify in Gemini, or you can go verify in OpenAI, just to make sure that they are very similar, which 99% of the time they are. Sometimes like Gemini may point out, hey, this could be done better. You can take that input and kind of modify the architecture here. So that's just a tidbit if you're going into this rabbit hole. So anyways, VS Code, a must. Go download it, it's free. And then enable your Cloud API. So it'll ask you to, so it's under extensions. There you go. And then you go, these are all the extensions. So you go install Cloud Code extension. You can install a lot of other extensions. But anyways, so you install that, and and then you just wipe code it here. So I've been coding this for I don't know, for a while. I started like a month ago. Whenever I had time, I go, like I said, first it was basic, right? Connecting a spreadsheet and kind of makes sense. Then connecting my Garmin, because luckily Garmin has a good community, because Garmin directly doesn't provide API access unless you're a developer. But there's a community that has Python script that's open source, that and as long as you know your username password for your Garmin Connect account, it should be able to, you can query it, and then download all your data. So unfortunately, you cannot. I think there's a limit. You can only query 1 or 2 times a day. But if you do constant, their API, they'll just reject it. So that's something to keep an eye. But anyway, so here's this. So and then another one. So all the stuff I did right. Um, there's a notepad type tool called Obsidian. Okay, so it's fantastic. I just found out about this a month ago. Before I used TextEdit and I mean pretty much take notes here. Um, you know, let me delete this. I take notes there either in a Word or whatever. It's pretty much like a caveman, I guess. But I don't know. Somewhere I found out about Obsidian. There's other tools out there, but I love Obsidian. Basically, each project is a vault. That's what it's called. So you create a vault for your project, and then the file is a vault file. That's what Obsidian calls it. And then basically, it's like your entire architecture, right, of your project itself. So for me, my entire Iris project, what it is, so it's Iris, it's overview, right? So it breaks it down everything. Again, guys, the beauty of this is, I asked the AI, say, hey, I created a vault file, just go, populate all the information of the project, and then it typed in everything, what we did until today. Actually, I was playing with it, like few minutes ago. So it's all updated here. AI prompts, routes, architecture, tech stack, cloud setup, deployment, environment variables, file structure, schema, Google Sheet schema, Iris overview, and then again my own profile as well. So let's get started. So the Iris, intelligence real-time insight system, again named after my daughter. If you missed part one, she's going to be 6 soon, and I have a son who's 16. Again, I want to live until 99. Okay, so that's the goal, and hopefully Iris will guide me. Named after my daughter, so it's agent for me, Shankar, and it combines Garmin biometrics, 23andMe genetics, biomarkers, supplement protocol, and Claude AI into a single daily briefing and conversational interface. You saw that, right? So that's pretty cool. So what it does, so 7 a.m. daily briefing, auto-generated, emailed, plus cached for web app. So you saw my web app right here. So it'll tell me, so here's my briefing. It'll tell me exactly what happened yesterday, that kind of stuff. And I get an email as well to my Gmail. Okay. So basically, at 7 a.m. And morning web dashboard, recovery cards, HRV. So like very similar to right here, my HRV, sleep, body battery. Yesterday was terrible at steps for me, and then my resting heart rate sitting at 53, 53. So I came back from travels from Chicago back to Colorado, so just kind of off for 1 or 2 days, and yesterday take it a little bit easy day. So this is all the data from it shows in a beautiful little cards, and then a life clock. This is again, I want to leave until 99, right? So I just put a little life clock, and then this biological age. That's the age I got from function health testing. So they tested based on HSCRP, all the key metrics, and then came out as 33.4. I am 12.6 younger, guys. Isn't that pretty cool? So, anyways, I put a little bit celebration markers here, like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Obviously 99. That's my end goal. So it kind of puts a little clock. I call it a life clock. Next, my birthday is coming soon as well, and then my next milestone is 50, right? That's where I want to go. So anyways, going back here, um, the voice playback, it has it right here. It'll play a voice, but I didn't like it. I don't want to play it now, but it's just not good, guys. So I integrated it, but eventually my goal is to integrate my daughter's voice, which eventually I'll figure it out. But I just put a, like right now I connected some AI voice from Lemon Labs. They usually specialize in a lot of these video clips, so you can pick different accents, male, female. There's a lot of options for there, and then you kind of use that, and then it that watch person or voice person, excuse me, and then it'll read everything to you. And then here is the trends. Um, HRV trend over time, sleep score, body battery, weight, body fat. I eventually need to integrate my DEXA scans here. So this I'm manually inputting. So just that's my next thing. And then log macros. This is pretty cool. I don't have to go to let's say I'm entering stuff in MyFitnessPal or any other nutrition app. All I need is, for me, I'm tracking my protein, right? So I really want to make sure that I eat minimum, 150 grams plus. Carbs. I'm my genetics data, which I'll go over in one of these videos. Doesn't like high carbs, so I try to stay low. So try to be right at 60, maybe 70, and then fat as well. Try to minimize my fat. So I only put those three key metrics just so Iris has some context. Okay, are you on track for protein? Are you keeping your carbs in check? Obviously the fat. Um, and then what else we have here? Oh, log weight. I can log my weight here. So right now so we had some issues with, so it's still for some reason referencing my initial input weight, but right now I'm sitting right at 142 average for me. And then sleep notes. I can even say, even though it reads my sleep score, I can come and rate my sleep either, 1 star, 2 star. I can, this I noticed is, I don't know, when I first wrote my app or Iris, right? Like, I don't know what I did, maybe one of the supplements. So like few nights I couldn't sleep. I just tossing a lot. My legs were cramping. So I thought, you know what, I need to track that, right? Place to enter it. So Iris will eventually use that as, some kind of correlation. So I put this notes, right? So basically, you can say I didn't sleep well, I had cramps, or I've been tossing a lot. So that's the intention, So just basically a sleep, how sleep is important, something to capture and then give that context to AI. And then log event. This is pretty cool too. So I can log any blood work, training, diet, travel. So when I traveled, so here, see, traveling to Chicago, 319, 320 will land at Nate, blah, 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 in our local at home. So I pretty much, track anything or enter notes, either it's medical, there's a lot of categories or other. So you can put it here. And then today, I said start a gym back after mini break from Chicago, body felt tired, maybe time zone back today, Saturday, lifting weights. So it's pretty cool. Little like a event tracker, and then blood work. This I recently added as well. So anytime, let's say you get a blood work done, let's say today, tomorrow, whatever, you can come in and put pretty much the main ones I care: glucose, HbA1c, testosterone, LH, FSH. So whatever it track, that initially I used spreadsheets to feed all the data, so it pulled all that information. It's pretty cool. It even puts the range in there. So again, built everything with AI, guys. Again, I don't program. I bare minimum programming. So this is all AI. Okay, so all this interface, and yeah, that's it. So basically, home, um, and then I built all that extra stuff, event logging, trends, history, which we went over everything. And then there's a genetics review too. So quarterly, so I made it so I can review my genetics data. So what this is I want to make sure I'm keeping up with the research. So I asked AI when we, are building this iris, like, hey, you have my genetics data, but every quarterly go check the internet to see if there's any updated research, for my particular variant. Uh, so that way it gets updated, and then the recommendations will change based on. Isn't that pretty cool? Let's see. So architecture. So here's the architecture. This probably be helpful for a lot of you guys, right? So the backend Python, Flask. So it's basically the purpose. You can see again. This is all Obsidian, guys. It's pretty cool. So start using Obsidian. It's like your one place to to have your entire project view. While you work on AI, here, right, Visual Studio in the particular folder. You keep making change and change, and then eventually you say, "Hey, go update my vault," and then it'll update everything. So this is what I did, right, before the call, before our video. and I said, "Hey, go update the vault." It updated everything, what I was working in the last few days that I haven't had a chance to update it. So it did everything for me. Hosting, Google Cloud Run. Again, it's free, and there's a lot. They give a lot of free version with so much capacity, so it's very easy to set up. AI, Anthropic Claude. So briefings, Sonnet 4.6, chat, I using Haiku. Again, for chat, Haiku it's uses less tokens, less expensive, and then for briefings in the morning, it uses Sonnet. Voice, I said right, Lemon Labs. Again, I don't like it, but hey, I integrated, so eventually I can convert my daughter's voice and integrate it. STT, push to talk as well. That's there as well. And actually, I can talk. So if you see the mic here in the app, actually I can talk too. So I integrated that as well. That's pretty cool, right? And let's see. So and then the database, Google Firestone database. So that's what Google recommended, Gemini recommended, Codex recommended, and Claude recommended. So when you when when you guys when you think of building a, a project, or so for me, right, Iris, so always try to remember our vision. Okay, what do you want this to do, right? So vibe coding is everywhere, right? Everybody's like, oh yeah, I want to go do this. Like, okay, what do you, I mean, yeah, you take a picture, add a cat or whatever, right? So there's a lot of silly stuff people do, but I think the real value for AI, personally, my opinion is, right, you got to look at the big picture. Okay, what do you want this to do, right? So I'm an engineer, so for me, it makes it a little bit easier for me to look at, okay, the big picture, okay, and then I got to write the architecture. Okay, what layers or tech stack I need, right? So that's the term. So anytime you guys going to start a project, always remember, okay, what tech stack? So first, you ask AI, okay, I want to build this, or what do you think about this idea? And then it'll say, oh yeah, da 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 da. It'll tell you, okay, you can do X, Y, Z. This is how to do it. And then it'll say, okay, I need a clean tech stack. That's step two, right? First, idea validation. I mean, obviously, AI is going to say, any idea is great, but does it work for you, right? For your use case. If it makes sense, then it'll say, okay, what is the best tech stack to support this architecture or this idea? And then if Claude gives you something, take it to Gemini and say, hey, is this tech stack make sense for the project? You type it in and it'll say perfect. Or it'll say, okay, instead of Google Cloud Scheduler, I'm gonna suggest something else. Then you kind of, compare and say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go with what Claude said because it made sense, except for one small thing. It's not a big deal. So that's the step, and then you start building. Okay, so going back, so scheduling Google Cloud, so it's basically two only thing I use is Google Cloud. That's it. Okay, that host is Firestone, runs the daily briefing, so it has all the timer script in there, so everything sits in there, and then boom boom boom, it triggers at 7 a.m., sends it, and then it pulls the data from Garmin every time I refresh my app, so it all goes through Google Cloud Schedule. And then email, Gmail SMTP. That's basically the briefing delivery. And then authentication. I set a PIN. So you saw me, right? So here I can log out. And then, so this is my personal web. And then I go enter my PIN and it loads the data. So that's Iris, guys. And then Garmin Connect plus Garth. So this is what I was telling you, right? This is a open sourced stuff. So it pulls HRV, sleep, body, battery, steps, calories, OAuth 2 tokens, and Firestone. So I mean, it's trial and error. So everything you do, don't get discouraged, right? You got to start somewhere with AI, and then you got to keep iterating, 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 make it better, make it better, make it better where you want it. Again, is Iris perfect? No, but when I started it, it was flaky, and then I keep messing up, keep messing up, fixing this. It's like fixing a car, guys. That's how I feel it. So you buy this, like a used car. I mean, again, this is this is not used, just to give you guys an analogy, right? And you say, you know what, I want to, change my wheels, bigger wheels, bigger tires. I want to put a suspension, or even you buy a brand new car, and you're not happy. Let's say Jeep, right? You buy a Jeep, you don't like with the factory tires, you change it. You say, you know what, I want a nice, fire shock. Uh, Fox, sorry, not Firefox, Fox shocks in there. I mean, you can do a lot of mods, right? That's basically what it is. You start somewhere base and then keep modding, modding, modding until you make it, what you want to be. And then genetics custom parser. Again, this AI wrote this parser for me because I have my 23andMe data, so I took it and parsed it. And containers Docker. So Docker is where, again, I'm not a software guy, but yeah, I said to use Docker. It's like a container that holds the whole thing and all these pieces together. So that's how I understand it. So this is the tech stack. Data flow, 7 a.m. Cloud scheduler fires, sending brief, Flask route, Garmin data, Garmin Connect API. So all the details here, right? So log daily metrics, and then there's a skip if Garmin failed, generate smart briefing, Cloud Sonnet, cache briefing, send email, all the stuff. It's all there. Garmin auth strategy. Again, this is the one we kind of playing with back and forth. But anyways, I think we fixed it now. So I think we can store the tokens for 27 days or 20 days, so we don't have to go fetch every time and we try to pull the data. That's the trouble we ran into. So luckily we fixed it. Actually, I was fixing it this morning because I couldn't, after my travel from Chicago, a couple of days were missing from Garmin. Then I don't know, I didn't have time to troubleshoot. Anyways, I came back today, spent some time and figured it out. Cache miss fallback, and then chat data flow, voice flow. So chat also has history as well, so it has some context. So in case if it's like Chat GPT or Cloud Chat, right? It's a own chat. So let me go back here. So if I go here, so it does all my history, right? So um, see some of the questions I asked. Give me a summary of my key genetic variants and what they mean for my current protocol. Look at this, guys. This is pretty cool. So this is bad news for me, right? That's why I cannot eat red meat. Actually, I will go over this one of these days. My liver overproduces this guy APOB, unfortunately. So I tested it myself. Whenever I increase my saturated fat or my red meat content, yeah, my LDL goes through the roof. ApoB goes through the roof because of genetics, guys. So again, if you don't know what 23andMe, there's a bunch of go get your genetics done, guys. This is a must. I talked to my friend like, dude, I'm scared because I don't want to sell my data. So like, that ship sailed. Your data is everywhere. But if you're worried about your genetics data, somebody's going to steal, or Chinese guys or Russian guys are going to steal, or Pentagon is going to steal and create a superhuman or whatever. That guys, that's gone. And again, look at my shitty genes. So I mean, what they're going to do with this? Anyway, so go get your genetics data. It's very valuable, and especially with the AI, you need to own this data. If you don't have it, go get it. It's cheap now. I think it's like $80 or $90 now. And I'm gonna make a video as well. How to get that. And actually, I even wrote an app that parses this data, so it's called GeneB. But anyways, I'll cover that in one of those videos. But look at this. It gives me everything. Testosterone production as well. It gives me a lot of context based on my genetics data. And then what do you think of my latest blood work? But I only know, my previous work. It tell me exactly what it is. I entered some blah, blah, blah. What's my cholesterol profile? So anyway, so there's a lot of history that it remembers as well for context. Let's see what else. Deployment. Again, cloud. All AI, guys. This is all the script. So it basically deploys and scheduler management. Here's another one. And then obviously GitHub. So I load everything, all my projects back to GitHub. I kept most of them private. But the reason is, it's another place that I go, have a copy of it, right? That's how I see it. So I have like gazillion, not gazillion, but tons of AI projects. I just start building and building. So I build it here and then, create a GitHub folder there and then, push everything there as soon as I'm done working on it and then, vice versa. So always good practice to have your Git. Again, it's not complicated. When I first started using GitHub, I didn't understand a damn thing. But again, now I'm like a I consider myself, pro now, but even though I'm not a pro, but it's pretty cool. It takes one or two tries. Again, you're not going to break anything. So, and then once you're done, you understand this main push commit. It's very standard commands, and it's a must. So, let's see. So yeah, I mean, it's all there. Also, the coolest thing is API. Look at all this API routes it created in the database in Firestone, right? So my logout app, trends, history, macros, wait, blood work, events. So everything is get post, all API, APIs, APIs. So it's pretty cool. So that's the back end. Again, Obsidian, and that's where pretty much entire project is. So another cool thing is, oh, look at this. Isn't this pretty cool? So I love this. This sold me for Obsidian. It gives me this cool graph. So basically, iris overview and everything is connected. Architecture, file structure. Actually, it even shows you a real cool thing here. Look at this animation. How everything is interconnected. It's pretty cool, huh? So, anyways, so these are all the cool stuff, and then it tells you exactly, takes you what it is. Um, Let me go back to Visual Studio. Um, let's see the. Okay, so let me see where the search of files. Okay, so here's all my files. Um, so protocol intelligence. So this is where the brain is. So Iris protocol intelligence. It's a Python.py Python file. So this is all my supplement data. And then pretty much, everything is loaded here. Whatever I take. So this uses this as a context, and then uh, say omega-3 diet, lipid blah blah blah. So this is the brains actually, the some of the context for the AI. So that's what this is. And then main optimize, this is the main Python file. So that does all the stuff. And yeah, I mean, all the files are here. So I hope again, so how long it took for me to do this, right? So again, start small. I want to live for 99, right? That's the goal I set. And I've been doing all the work for 16 years. I have all the data, the blood work, everything. And now AI gave me the superpower. So it's like having a doctor, nutritionist, um, scientist, all in my palm, or in my iris, right? So this is it. It's all in here. So this iris is my doctor, scientist, lab, uh, you know, X-ray technician, whatever, right? That's him. That's her. Sorry, Iris. So that's what I did. That's what I built, right? So because I don't want to take chances, right? I don't want, I know doctors, they're trained in a certain way, and some especially your family practitioner, bless their heart, they go by textbook. Hey, if you see this value, make sure they don't get that value. If you have this value, go, here's your pill, solve the problem, and get out. That's how they're trained. They don't know anything about nutrition. They don't know anything about genetics. They don't even know anything what the latest trend is, right? They just in their silos, get their degrees, start a practice, and day in, day out, day in, day out. That's all they do. So that's why I built this, and you guys can do this too. It's easy. Start somewhere. Whether you have your Aura ring, or actually this is not Aura. The Garmin. I think Whoop has API, but I don't know they give access. There's a lot of stuff, right? So if you like, if you have questions, leave a comment or whatever, how to connect, all the stuff. I might definitely help you guys, or respond to your comment. Um, so this is part two. I hope it was useful. And part three is going to be cool. So what I'm going to do part three is I'm going to show some of deep dive, like my LDL stuff issue, my genetics issue and what AI find it or found, and how I'm using it to my advantage every day, right? So I'll show that to you because I built it, does the data, tells me briefing. Now, I want to, see how Iris is helping me to achieve the goal of 99. So, anyways, I'm Shankar, 46 years old. If you haven't watched part one, I highly recommend you to go, watch part one to get some context. And I hope this video was helpful. And guys, you can go build it. It took me, I would say honestly, a week. And then I slowly tinker stuff. I add features, right? Like hey, let me add this, let me add this. It's once you build a framework, it's easy to keep adding small enhancements to it. But don't be afraid. I mean, like I said, look at all this code. And I didn't even show you my Google Firestone cloud interface. That looks daunting too. Again, I don't know anything. AI told me what to do, how to configure everything. I did it. So, look at all this. So basically, it's if you have a vision, if you know English, if you know how to make it simple, understandable, type it as a chat interface, you can build it. And you just need some basic knowledge. And don't be afraid. You're not going to break anything. Uh, you know, it's not going to do anything, right? Don't worry about security. Obviously, if you share something, tying your bank account or something that you need to worry about. But again, guys, go do it. Like I said, I have all this data sitting in, and I gotta go spreadsheet. Now I tied it all together, right? So like I said, it's a doctor, scientist, researcher, all in one place now, so I can ask questions, look at my trend, and stay healthy for my kids. So, anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe and look out for part three, where I'm going to go a little bit more hands on and see how Iris is helping me, every day achieve that goal to reach 99. Thank you so much for watching this video. Really appreciate your time, and hopefully it helped you or motivate you or give you inspired to go build your own health with AI. That's the beauty of it, right? You can go build it now. Again, it's the cost is barely $20 a month. I pay for Cloud AI. That's all you need. The rest is all mostly will run free with the Google Cloud and such. Again, thank you, and we'll see you in part three.